What's going on, guys? Seth and Chevy here. We just watched episode 4 of season 2 of Frieren. We'll be talking full spoilers ahead, so hopefully you've had a chance to watch this episode, and we'll start with a real quick recap. Very straightforward episode. Fern and Stark go on their date. It's a very awkward date that we'll talk about in detail when we get into review. But eventually it culminates to the end point where Fern noticed that Stark was being different. Stark reveals that basically he wanted her to have a good day, so he asked Frieren what they should do. He followed those directions, but it wasn't really him being himself. He's just kind of trying to do what he wanted to do to make sure Fern had a good time. That in turn makes Fern feel better because he went out of his way to try to make sure that their date went well. The whole time Frieren is off doing her thing, sitting in the
she loves hot springs.
The hot spring, yeah. She's in that thing constantly. After that, they end up heading up to the Northern Plateau Gate, where they show the credentials to get through the gate. Passing through, they run into all sorts of shit out in the woods that they're killing nonstop or running away from. And then they find a village where a guy asks them if they can take out a monster that's dangerous in the direction that they're going. So they agree to do that. They end up running into him pretty easily and fast. And he's pretty challenging. He's got a sword and he's strong and a little more advanced in terms of his technique and dodging abilities. So Stark is definitely put to the test in this fight, having to be the frontliner and block all the attacks, and ends up holding him down while Frieren blasts him from space with a space laser and melts him. And yeah, they continue forward. Frieren letting them know that it's going to be like that for the rest of the trip up here, and they need to be ready, and they need to work as a team to make these encounters go better than that. And Stark's legs gave out because there's a lot to go through. Thoughts?
I mean, this episode pretty much had everything in it.
Yep.
I liked it a lot. I said it while we were watching it, but like all the backgrounds are like very picturesque. The whole episode is like gorgeous to look at. They picked really good angles constantly for, like the characters would be in the in the corner basically while they showed off a landscape type of a deal. Really enjoyed that. The date was super cute. I think watching Fern go from like picking her outfit to not being very happy with Frieren's lack of enthusiasm for helping her and giving her the tightest, most angry braids.
I love how when Fern's upset, she doesn't talk. She just does things, and people just tell she's upset.
Yeah, because she's just aggressive about it, right? Yeah. Though the braids are a good look for Frieren. She should wear them every once in a while. I also knew the episode eventually was going to have some good animation because when Fern approached Stark during the date, her, blouse animation was very good. And I was like, we're animating this episode. Okay. Yeah. So, and they went on the date, and the whole time I was just like, yeah, this is awkward. I expected it to be, but like Stark's just not picking up on any of like the cues, like with the necklace and stuff like that. And then like Fern's just like very obviously conflicted the whole time. She's enjoying the things they're doing, but she's not having like a good time per se.
Well, the reoccurring thing that I also agreed with is that they only spoke to each other when they're talking about Frieren.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking the whole time, like, what would they talk about, though? Because this is their life. This is what they do.
They also travel together.
Yeah.
Right?
So, like, what do you talk about? Because I've like, had situations in real life where I'm like, I don't have to fucking talk to this person about. But I've also had more life experience in doing different things than I guess they would. All they have done is go to villages, eat, sleep, fight stuff.
And then as children, they were just raised by warriors.
Exactly. So like, what do you connect on?
Yeah.
And the thing they do have to connect on is Frieren.
Yeah.
But that is kind of frustrating because when you're on a date, you don't want to just be talking about somebody else the whole time.
Right.
You want to get to know each other, talk about the experience that you're having. And Stark's just blind in the situation because he doesn't even know what the hell he's doing.
Yeah.
So
he's already dense to begin with, and then he just doesn't have life experience at all. So
and Fern's quiet and awkward,
kind of rough. So, but it was still very cute, and also like at the end of the date, we got a little bit of redemption because Stark obviously was being thoughtful to try and make it a good time, and that was not lost on Fern. So.
I'm glad we got that too, because I'm like, as she was like talking about how the day was kind of like weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you redeem yourself from that?
Yeah.
Like that does kind of suck. But yeah, then they kind of wrap it up with he was trying and she realized that.
Yeah.
So
And then she gave Frieren nice braids. To which, Frieren was smiling about it as well. So and then as we go forward, we got to see the result of the end of the last season, which was the certificate to say I'm allowed to go past this gate, in which they spent 3 days nonstop in danger, which was cool to see. Even like it was basically a montage almost, type of thing.
it definitely was a montage.
And it's just like boom, 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 like constantly in danger. And then that did culminate to finally like something that had to challenge them more than they've really had to be challenged as far as like group dynamics go, which I'm glad they kind of like mentioned too, because we saw that a little bit in a previous episode where they're fighting together and against the demon in the empty town, right? The sword demon, where like they're good at fighting, but their team dynamics, they're just kind of all doing their own thing, right? And then we really got that again as Fern has a moment of panic again, gets thrown. Starks honestly does a very good job of like keeping track of people because he just catches her midair. And then the idea that Frieren usually like floats up to blast people and it noticed, it's a little smarter than what they've been dealing with. It's just funny because demons aren't stupid, and a lot of the demons fall for that too. So that was an interesting revelation here that this monster was just like, no, I'm not going to let you do that, and like put pressure on her as well. So that was a lot of fun. Also, Stark and it trading blows with very little cuts in the fighting, which was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
Also, just like super well choreographed, attacks and defenses going on at the same time. While, like if you've ever played a co-op video game where like you have someone up front and you're in the back with like a gun and you're trying to figure out when to shoot, but there's friendly fire. That's basically what happened. For instance, like there's no opening, I can't do anything. Like so, which was pretty cool. And then and I was gonna call it an orbital laser, so that's pretty funny.
Yeah,
you called it a beam
space laser. Yeah, space laser.
I liked the Fern was just like on it and like protected, Stark from that, because Stark was just like, I'm taking this hit apparently. So
yeah, I was about to say that was like some DBZ shit. Like I thought he was just gonna get like, I didn't actually think he was gonna get melted,
right.
But I'm like, shouldn't have he got annihilated by
Like,
that? It was
go last minute.
It wasn't a pinpoint accurate shot. That was
Yeah.
a big ass beam. So
yeah, and that was just fun. And then basically them going, okay, this is what we're in for, which was kind of the point of the end, that last second half of the episode. So,
yeah.
I had a lot of fun with it. It literally did everything I like the show to do. So
yeah, it was a really good episode because it does hit all the major beats of why I watched this show. It's got the world building. We had flashbacks with Himmel and their experience looking for the cat, which we both thought was funny when the cat showed up. Frieren just pulled her staff out. I assumed she's gonna do a spell to capture it, but I was like, that's a weird response. First thing you do is get your stick. But we got the flashbacks, which we like, and then the world building and very picturesque locations that I also thought looked really good. Every episode looks like that, but this episode had some really good ones. The date was a lot of fun, even though it was very awkward, and the whole time I was hoping for something to go right, and the whole thing was just weird. Like Fern mentioning that couples get like a discount or whatever, and Stark's like focused on that, and she's like, "Oh, okay, like that's all you're thinking about." They got some giant pork buns, wherever those were.
Those were massive. Yeah.
They were like shields. They were gigantic, and then they ate right after that, which is crazy.
A stack of pancakes.
So yeah, they just kind of silently walked around and ate stuff and looked at stuff, which I mean would be pretty fun still, but very awkward. And Stark's weird robot walk that he's doing, I don't know what the hell that was about.
Well, he felt awkward because he found her cute for a moment.
Yeah. So he's overcompensating by walking like
he's not a smart man.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said before, we got the redemption, which was fun. It had a lot of heart to it. Frieren, of course, was funny during that whole part, even though she kind of was to the side, which is good because it's cool to explore these characters more. Even though they talked about her a lot, which it was brought up multiple times. And then it was cool to finally see what they went through in the last season come to fruition in terms of them being able to go where they need to go. And apparently, there's a reason why you have to have that certificate to go there, because everything there's trying to kill you, including the snake that was charming
that was so funny.
Stark. he was just instantly sucked up by that.
They covered their eyes, and he's just like, I'm gonna get this thing.
Yeah, and then he's just sitting there looking at it, and they just had to walk him off. The cave with the bat thing that they ran from. Surprised they didn't just blast that. And then the one that I thought was really interesting and kind of shows how ridiculous this area is there was like a hill giant thing that stood up and took out the trail ahead of them. So I'm like, well, guess you're not walking there. So I don't know how long that thing's been there to have a trail on him, but he decided to get up. Or at the very least, where he stood up from, destroy the trail ahead of them. And then, yeah, the fight was cool. It was choreographed well. The animation looked good. It did just kind of seem like a moment to kind of put out there that they're going to have battles ahead that are going to be, more intense, and that they have to work as a team, which I do think is an interesting thing to bring up, because they don't really work as a team a whole lot. They'll call stuff out every once in a while, but yeah, they don't really. They all are doing their own independent things a lot of times when they're in fights. I mean, this Frieren just goes straight to the air, starts shooting, and Stark starts blocking stuff and catching, Fern when she's flying around. So yeah, hopefully they can work on their team comp and dynamics, because they're going to have to. But yeah, the whole episode was really good. Enjoyed the whole thing, and it went by really fast. Yeah. And looking forward to the next episode. It's only episode 4, so we still got
6 more.
6 more, so that's cool. And we'll be reviewing all of them. You got anything else?
Nope, that pretty much covers it.
All right, let us know in the comments, what did you guys think of this episode? What were your favorite parts? And maybe there's something in the episode you want to talk about that we didn't talk about. Let us know in the comments. And, of course, if you have recommendations for things for us to watch, let us know. Can't do it this season, but next season, potentially we could. Movies, anime, whatever. And... yeah, I think it's good for this episode or review. I did that in the last review as well. I'm so in the TLG mindset. Thanks for watching. And I've been Seth. This has been Chevy. Until the next episode, we will talk to you guys later.